Welcome back to our 21st episode. Haha, lucky number 21. So, based on popular demand, we're bringing back another episode on life updates. Our last June life updates episode in 2022 was quite a hit, especially among our listeners in China. And as we're moving through February with once again many changes happening at this point in our lives, well, what better time than now for us to give another half-year mark update? That's right, time for BananaCorn crew to unlock their personal vaults of thoughts, share each of our ups and downs for the past 6 months, as well as the personal expectations we have for our future. Ready or not, let's dive in.
Yay, Cindy with her intro. I guess I'm starting off this episode. Yeah, so June 2022, and now it's February 2023. A lot has changed, I think. I went back to my family, and it was a great time going back to Abu Dhabi, as I mentioned, and seeing family and friends as well. And I think I needed that break because, you know, when you're like wrapped up by yourself alone working, and I mean, alone is fine, but when you're always grinding like day to day and it's like the repetitive work day, weekend, you work and then you get off work, you go home, you sleep, and then it's another day. Yeah. I think I really needed that break where you're just out of the loop and you're back to where, you know, you went to school and the people who were with you when everything was much simpler back then. I think talking to my parents definitely helped a lot, you know, when you're there feeling their vibe, being home and you don't have to worry about like rent, you don't have to worry about your birthday, you know. Yeah, it was a lot of just kind of recovery time that I needed, and coming back I definitely felt lonely right after that. So that's when reality hit me. And it was surprising because I got the ball rolling as soon as I arrived. I think something clicked in within me when I just arrived and I was like, dang, I'm alone, gotta do this, gotta do that, and I just like snapped back.
How have you been, like, once you got back? What are the ways that you were, you know, reaching out to people? What were you doing to fix the feeling that you were feeling?
I legit called my friend who's in Singapore and I was like, I need you. And then we just went out for lunch. And I think that kind of, you know, kept me sane and was like, oh, I have someone to talk to at least here, you know, welcoming me. And the weird thing is we actually caught up before and we were like, you know, after we come back from this month of family reunion and holidays, we need to go back to grinding, just having fun, living life, working hard, you know, work hard, play hard. And then we came back together and we were both so zoned out from the holidays that we
basically you did not fulfill the goals that you were trying to do.
Yes.
Kind of reminds me the kind of goals you set for yourself before you sleep at night, you know? You'll be like, tomorrow I'll be having 2 liters of water every day. I'll make sure to exercise, healthy body, healthy diet. And then when you wake up the next day
and you're like, what? Like, who was that day? Like, who was that making those decisions?
My personality, like, I'm able to do it, but it's just short term because then I get bored.
See, at least you do it.
But what's the point if you can't do it long? Like a day or two, I'm like, okay, I'm over it.
Next point, I guess. Other than that, I've been actually very good with my time management. So I commute to work there and back is like 2 hours. So having those 2 hours and using it by studying for, I can't say a test because I'm not necessarily studying for a test. I'm just studying to get my brain active. So I've been solving just a lot of like math problems. Hopefully I might try at GMAT or GRE, and then, you know, it never hurts to try. So I've been just studying in the metro by myself, using that time. When I get home, I already have a plan, so I kind of commit to it. So the next thing is I've been also working out. That's also my time management. And oh my God, my body still hurt today. Like, it's been 2 days and I still have muscle pain, but it just got me going. Like it was like pumped up like music and it was like weights and stuff, like squats.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dang, this is the money worth. It was like one of those rich gyms. So, you know, those people, like the locker room had like a steaming room and like a cold room. They had straighteners, they had shampoos and conditioners. It was all luxury and stuff. And I was like,
ooh, like, money worth.
This got me pumping because I was like, I gotta make more money to enjoy that. Other than working out and studying, I have this weird motivation to shop for clothes because I'm running out of clothes. And I know this because people around me have been saying, I've seen those clothes before.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
Oh, man. Oh, no.
I know. So I need to pump up my fashion game, but I keep on looking at clothes. I can't go and buy them and I need to wear them. So I'm like, go back to when Angela helped me shop in Shanghai.
Yeah.
So I need
Oh,
like
yeah.
a shopper, assistant.
Dude, like, let me tell you about Han's shopping. So Han has a great figure. It's just like freaking tall. She's great figure. I'm able to shop clothes for her. But all these stylish clothes, she always goes back to the basic tee and the basic pants. I'm like, you want to be fashionable, but you just keep on going back. One time, like, I think I brought her like a crop top and like a high waist, something else. Just a tiny bit of skin showing. It's just like, this shows too much skin. I'm like, it will show a lot, if only if you raise your hands. Like, there's so much you can do.
Oh, but I would understand that though. It's like you never know, maybe that day I forget and I raise my hands. Who knows?
Yeah, I might need to raise my
the
hands in
belly
class.
button's not showing.
Poor Angela, because I feel like I'm no better than you, Han. When Angela's with me, also like I think we only ever really like it was one day we really went out to go shop, and I just remember Angela was like, "I'm gonna try on all the K-pop trends," and because the shop we went to had all these latest trends, and she was trying out with the crop tops and like all these different styles, and she's like, "I'm gonna see if this is gonna work for me." Meanwhile, here I am, like the only things that caught my eye was like the guys section and and like comfortable clothes,
oversized t-shirts,
oversized t-shirt, and then Angela like had this crazy. I was like, "Oh, this really look good on me. Why don't you try it too?" And I wear it, and I look totally like a different person. And then Angela's like, "Why don't you try more of these like different styles? Look, you look like a girl now. You're not to generalize. That's so different from my usual personality." I just remember these comments. It was just so funny.
But yes, we do need a friend like Angela to kind of like force us to buy trendy clothes and to keep us at least relevant.
Yeah.
Hey, we could be buying timeless clothes.
I feel
now.
so valued.
But I have to admit, Angela's clothes, they vary a lot. Like she can go like very softy, like a really girlish, to kind of just like,
I feel like my clothes really represents my life right now and my personality, where it can go from either way of spectrum. Because I think I don't know, either I'm lost or either I like feel like I want to try everything, and there's no time for me to like really dig myself into each and different category because I want to experience it all,
Oh, you've definitely done much more exploring than I have ever done. So still kudos to you. I've always wanted to try different categories, but it's like the minute I get into a store, I just go to the things I'm comfortable with. It's really difficult. Having a friend like Angela around that can open up new avenues, try out new things.
So basically, guys, we need to be all three of us in one place so we can thrive.
Yeah, let's end it right here. No? Well, back to life updates. I'm gonna try something different from Han. I'm gonna talk about probably the ups and downs for the past 6 months, like for each month. I'm just gonna share like the main ones that I remember. Starting with August, the biggest takeaway from that was the first time I actually took an annual leave break. What I decided to do was like a staycation. So I met up with a phone bestie and we actually directed and scripted and acted our own multiverse themed production. So that was like very exciting because it felt like I finally had a break to do something creative. So the biggest highlight of August was definitely this. And then slowly things started to change the next couple of months. Like in September, there was a bit of down and up. Obviously, the lockdowns and stuff much worse in Shanghai during that time. So a lot of planning was difficult. But at the same time, I did feel more confident with my work. So it's like, a bit of up and down. But then October came and that's when it really started to go down. And I think it was mainly due to Angela leaving the city. Well, Angela and many other friends leaving the city and suddenly coming to the realization that I'm alone in the city. So dealing with that loneliness was very difficult. And also realizing how much I rely on friends and people around me to, literally keep you going every day. And then coming to terms with the change that's happening around you, not being able to do anything about it, but learning to live with it and make the best of it. I think that was really what October taught me. party. And then November, something really great happened was I got promoted at work and I got a senior role. And very exciting time. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, it's just been a year and I already got promoted. I feel like, wow, Cindy, you did it. You reached it. God knows what happened the next month was suddenly I got like put onto multiple tasks, suddenly put on the social committee, for example. To be honest, I'm not that social, but I think I gave the impression that I'm that social. I do know most people, and I guess that kind of took on the wrong turn. First task that I had as this head of social committee was to do a Christmas party, the biggest event of the year. And that's the first event that I have. That's amazing. Yeah, great. Very difficult time too. As I said, like the COVID restriction was still happening in Shanghai at the time. So what ended up happening was whatever I planned for that party either got canceled or I have to like choose another alternative. So by the time we actually had the party, it was probably planned HIJK. I don't know. But it was just very difficult to deal with changes, plan alternative, and still be optimistic about it. Part of you wants to give up, but you can't. So I think that was the biggest challenge. That I thought was down enough. But no, something even downer happened. Immediately after the party, I got COVID.
Yay! You finally got COVID.
COVID after like such a hard planning of a party and then being alone, as I said before, and being sick. Oh, that was just a reflective moment there. Just thinking, where are the people around me in my life? I want to have someone to look after me. Because can you imagine when you're so sick, you have like a fever, and then you still have to like pull yourself out of bed just to cook food for yourself so you can survive. You're just like,
hey, but you live in China. We can just ask the app to give you food. The food will deliver to your house.
Not during that time. The funny thing was like the time that I got sick was also the moment like the whole city got sick. So like the delivery guys got sick too, Basically almost the whole city got sick. And then I having to deal with all this and still trying to be strong, being alone, So that was very sad, I feel. And what's more sadder was man, I feel like December is like for everyone else is a Christmas, happy month. But for me, it was so sad. And even to the end, I kind of worked until the last minute. Even when I was sick, I had a solo project due on the 29th. I mean, I know many people are much worse than me, but still like, I was like, what is this luck? So I was hoping for something better to happen. And I guess not that the new year started, not that it gone better. I got another hard project. So
Wow.
I think this time, like just to sum it all up, August, I still felt like happy creativity, but of my university life coming back to me. And I feel like, I'm still young and healthy and happy. And then suddenly in these 6 months until now, all this happening, all this promotion, all these different planning I have to do, just a lot of build up on responsibility. And at the same time being alone, suddenly it's like, life is like passing by. Whatever happens, I take it and just, make sure I survive the next day. And that's kind of the stage I am at right now. That's my life update. Want to share yours?
I feel like Sydney's just so sad. It gets sadder every single month. I am getting sadder.
It is feeling like that. And I keep thinking something good is going to happen soon. But
I mean, people always say that at your best is when you have the most breakdown. I don't know why, to be honest. I always get this as well. Like, when you first get a job and then you have this slump because you're like, oh, this job wasn't what I thought and stuff. So maybe you're going through just a phase. And then after the phase ends,
probably
you might, come back up and
go out to new ventures.
Yes, Sydney. Come out of Shanghai.
I have to say, like, despite all the sadness, I am improving. And this is what I hate the most. It's like, why? Why must you challenge me? And why must I improve? Like, that is not what I want. The minute I improve, that's not beneficial for me.
And let me tell you, this is why we don't have, we do have a lot of startup, but we don't have as many as we would have if companies don't prohibit you. And the reason why they promote you, you get more responsibility, so much more that you don't have time to work on a side hustle and to think about other stuff because they want to keep you. They want to keep you from venturing off, to your own things, even though it would have, benefit you. Because who wouldn't want to be their own boss, have their own schedule, create, do something, get profit for their own passion.
That's actually one of the things like I think during this time has really awakened in me that motivation to start and start up or like just be part of a new entrepreneur business. It's definitely during this time. I mean, a year ago me, I would be like, oh, I want to be better at my work. I mean, I still want that, but I don't feel that same drive anymore. Like the reason why I want to get better is so that I can do better. You know, when it's my turn. It's a different concept than before. And now I really look forward to that day where I can be my own boss, you know? I feel it now. I really feel it now because no matter how much I give to this, I mean, through the effort I put into my work, it's like I'm at the stage where even if I achieve that achievement, I don't feel, well, gotta share with everyone. Like now it's, you know, I survived another day. Like I don't feel that sense of achievement anymore.
Well, going off of that, I guess it's my turn. And I'm gonna take a different approach from Cindy. I'm just gonna take what I can remember to talk about my highs and lows. The major low, or I guess it could be a high, is I left Shanghai in October. And it was a big decision because I loved my life there. I had a great apartment, a great location, didn't necessarily have a great job, but it paid the bills. It got the food on the table and I was content. But the COVID situation was really too much for me because every day I just didn't know what was going to happen. And that gave me a lot of like stress and anxiety. And I just decided to close that chapter for a while, temporarily close it and just leave. And so I did. I left, and the moment I came back, a bit of regret, you know, coming back a society where there is no great delivery service. There's no great Amazon service where everything is so convenient and simple. I miss ordering food from anywhere and have a cheap price that goes along with it. So a lot of those convenience factors I missed. But that month, you know, I did get to travel to Europe, go around like Budapest, Vienna, stayed 1 month in the UK, met great people in the UK, had a great time, thinking that I was going to stay in UK, but plans change, which happens in life. Came back to see my family in November. We went on our first family trip in a while, 8 to 10 years. We went to Las Vegas together, planned the whole thing, but it was really fun because I get to eat a lot of buffets, which I love. And then the next thing I know, like me and my brother, we went on our sibling trip together. We went to Greece and Portugal, and that was really nice. Just a moment of bonding time. Then I came back to this cold countryside place. And then I have to start finding a full time. So, I mean, the low would be, I think the whole idea of you were at a place where you found contentment and you had a rhythm going. And to suddenly, because of external factors, that rhythm is disrupted. And then going back to a place where it's you're backtrack, you digress. And now you're starting from zero at an environment that you don't necessarily like. And then you have to start finding jobs because it was the decision that you chose. So it's not just one low point, it's this whole every single factors in that equals LOW, low. And I'm at that point. So I have mini highs, you know, going on vacation that gives me little blips of joy. But, you know, once I come back again, it's the whole idea of like, oh, yeah, I don't have a job. I have a part time, but that really limited hours and it doesn't really pay it, you know, that well. And I need to have a full time job. So I'm applying to hundreds of jobs every single day. I'm exaggerating, but at least, you know, 20 to 30 every single day, hoping for that one call back. Because in reality, these companies ghost you. Nobody cares about you. You know, it's a job posting and you just have to wing it. It's like a lottery system. So yeah, I'm dealing with all that stuff. But the good thing is I got in, you know, a couple interviews. So I'm in this interview stage now and I'm feeling really good about this one company. And I hope they also feel good about me. The next time we update, I can say, Angel's got a job or like next episode.
Yes, we'll be waiting.
That would be a good thing. That's basically it for my updates.
So you mentioned you were on a sibling trip with your brother. How does that feel like? And was there like any awkwardness? You know, because I'm planning a trip with my sister too.
Yeah.
So I need some reference here.
There's no awkwardness, but during these 2 trips, we had like 2 fights and like mini fights, you know? And it's like, you feel like once you stay together for someone for so long at a, you know, at one place, one time, fights will happen. And So and
Mm.
it just really depends on your willingness to cave in and forgive. That's when the trip will move on. And if you don't do that, it will be a bad thing for the trip. So, lesson learned is that for arguments, just be like, okay, let it go for the sake of the trip. And then after the trip, we'll discuss more about it. Or else it will not be.
What did you guys discuss then?
Well, we're the type where we need to solve it right away in order for us to have a good time. So we resolved our issues really quickly. And then we just had a good time because we're the type of people, my brother and I, were like every little thing, if we don't get resolved, it's in the back of our heads and that will bother us.
I'm asking because there's sometimes like there are moments where I talk with my sister and I really feel the age gap, you know? So
Yeah.
You
I
have
get
an
to
age
because
gap with yours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 6 years, that's a long gap.
Yeah,
it is, yeah. So because like now, like one thing I'm so super jealous about my family is they're not, well, they just finished their European tour, but while they were on Europe tour, I see them enjoy themselves. But then there are moments like my sister share, like, you know, I met this situation and like how she dealt with it, and she was like so proud of herself or like some of the actions she took. I'm like, oh yeah, right, you're 6 years different than me. Like I forget, you know. I'm like, isn't that something very easy? Like, isn't that obvious? You know, logical. But no, like, you know, I have to remember, she's just turned 18. She's not, this is probably her first biggest tour in her life. And she hasn't done touring for a long time. So she's a bit like very novice to it. But yeah, like just seeing her on her new journey, like being independent, if you can say, that has really made me reflect on myself as well as just think, oh no, am I able to interact with her in the future? It's that little bit of doubt and worry. So it's good to hear it wasn't too awkward with your sibling.
Yeah.
And hopefully mine is fun too.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Well, hadn't mentioned about wanting to go to Japan, and I was thinking, hey, you know, I could probably by then my sister would already be in Shanghai, and then we can plan to go to Japan too, and then maybe meet up there, all of us.
Ooh,
So
I get to meet your sister.
yeah.
Oh my God, Angela.
I hope,
Angela, come
guys,
join us.
I'm earning money to go, and then hopefully by that time everything falls in place.
But I have to say, whatever happens, you definitely have more gut than the two of us, if I can say
Yeah.
that. I mean, the fact that you've decided to go out of your comfort zone and be in a new environment and then trying again from zero, that takes really big courage. I don't think many people can do that. And I think it is also the right time too, since we're all young. That's what people say.
So, I mean, like going back, I guess all of us sharing our updates, what are things that we can share that we're looking forward to? It could be terms of future goals or an event that is happening currently, but will happen in the future that you're looking forward to.
I can go first, just because I actually did kind of mention it as we were talking, that my perspective towards the idea of entrepreneurship has changed within these 6 months. So I think part of my expectations, or what I feel in my gut, is that sometime in the future, I'm going to also embark on that journey. So with that feeling in mind, I'm now looking at things different and how I improve myself, you know, at work, for example. Like now, the first thing is not be played any more than I need to be, because I feel like December was I was played really badly. Maybe by the fact that I'm young, you know, still want to prove myself or something like that. But now I think I'm just going to be careful about this, but at the same time also like improve myself for my own sake, you know, for this goal that I have in mind, that we're going to be all together. That is my goal, to have all three of us start something together, and then, you know, able to contribute whatever expertise I was able to build during the time that I work.
I realize that a lot. Like in corporate world, I feel like no one tells you that you're being played, and you find out later when you're like working, and then you realize, wait, what am I doing this for? And then you realize you're being played. Yeah.
And what's also worse is when you know you're being played, but you still have to play along with it.
Yeah, because you have responsibility.
That's also one thing I reflected on myself during this time was, I mean, I know that I'm being played, for example, or I'm getting like more tests than need to be, but I realized there's a weakness in me, and that once something is completely 100% my work, I have that sense of having to make sure, you know, it's good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be good. You know? And that's one thing now that I'm aiming towards is, okay, it's already too late. You know, my capabilities is exposed at this point. So rather than keep going on this road, like I'm going to find ways to mitigate this pressure that I have on myself. So like now, for example, the social committee, I've found 2 people who's willing to help out, just so, you know, by the time it comes, like I can can rely on these two as well, so that not everything's on me, so that three of us, we did it,
So I thought about like what I'm expecting in the future, and I hope I see myself working towards something in a passionate way. It might be BananaCorn, it might be something else, but I just want to be really crazy and stuck on this one thing, devote my life to it. Because you know how you live so like freely and stuff, and then soon you realize I just want to be responsible for this one thing and pour my heart into it. So I'm at that stage, I think, right now where I'm kind of searching for things that I like and things that I want to do and be really passionate. But that's in like a long-term sense. And I guess in short-term sense, I hope to kind of keep on doing what I am doing now, using my time wisely, searching for whatever I want to do so I'm not wasting time, and self-improvement, etc. Maybe something for BananaCorn. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, we're all almost at the same stage. Like, we are now wanting to build our expertise. So
yeah, I mean, that's good. That's the best time to actually start something, you know? That's where I come in, where my long term is also really similar to you guys. I just want to be a CEO.
Yeah.
Well, I want to own something that I'm passionate about and it does good for the community around me, whether it be making someone happy or providing something. It could be a product or a service. Any of these two categories that just creates an impact in someone's life. And that's what I want to do. If it's clothes, I want clothes that people feel comfortable in and make themselves feel confident about themselves, be happy. If it's in entertainment, the service. I hope this podcast, listeners out there, is giving you some joy or pause in your life. And that's really all I ask for. Yeah, social impact. And short term, I want a job. I want a full-time job. So hopefully my short-term goal will be fulfilled next week. But I just need to train myself to not be so hopeful in one thing, because anything could happen. And that's where I'm struggling with, where anything I do, I always feel 100% and confident in that if that thing didn't go the way that I planned, I get so sad because I got caught up in it. Yeah, another short-term goal is not to get caught up into something, because anything could happen and anything could change. But as of right now, my goal is to hope I just get a job.
I think we have a lot of notes here, and I'm glad that we're ending with on a good note, because I feel like when we were talking about our expectations, we actually have a lot in common in terms of business wise, and I guess in terms of drive, life in general. Like, we're wanting to focus on this one thing and create something. So we'll see how the future after 6 months will put us. So wrapping up, that's what's going on in our lives right now. It's actually pretty cool to see how you guys are interested in our lives, just three random people on the internet. And hopefully this episode brought you feeling something. Just remember that there's always a timing for everything. And I guess we're on different stages and different paths, but in the end, we are kind of all looking and walking towards relatively same goal. So have an awesome day, awesome night, and we shall see you guys next month.
So thank you guys for tuning in today's episode, Life Updates, February 2023. And if you haven't, please subscribe, like, and leave a rating for BananaCorn, and recommend this to all your family and friends. And follow us on Instagram, BananaCornBD, and come back and join us on our next episode. This is us.
Bye.
Bye.